there's no question that policy matters, political philosophy matters. In a very, very prosperous country, you see it very little. But in this country, more recently, you have seen it illustrated in our daily lives. No question about it. And as far as the way the media treat this president, never in my life have I seen anything like this. I have never seen anything like this. What the accusation that he has instigated trouble and division is rank nonsense. The problem with Trump is that when people challenge him, or when people insult him, or when people criticize him, he fights back. Other presidents, other leaders typically have allowed this stuff to go on. The problem at some point is you're playing patty cake with evil. In other words, when China, let's just go to China, when China is doing nefarious things, doing things that communist dictatorships do, if you don't confront them on stealing intellectual property, if you don't confront them on all kinds of malfeasance, you are derelict as a leader. The presidents of the United States before Trump have all been derelict or naive in dealing with China, and they have allowed China to more and more effectively oppress its own citizens. And so the idea that Trump for years has been talking about this and suddenly says, hey, what about this? Excuse me, what about that? What about these trade policies? This doesn't seem right. When somebody has the guts to fight, there's going to be some trouble in a sense. But if people had been fighting all along the way, we never would be here. And I think that's the case with what I refer to China, but it's the case with Trump and the liberal establishment, what we now call the deep state as well. They've gotten away with murder in some cases, literally, but they have been allowed to prosper, and real leadership would have taken them on. So the idea that Trump is taking them on, they've never been taken on. They've been allowed a free ride to do as they like, and to do many things that are fundamentally un-American and fundamentally unconstitutional. And so he's taken them on. So he's willing to go to war with the press, which it breaks my heart, John, to see what happened to journalists and to the press in the United States of America. It's, they effectively don't, they almost don't exist anymore, really. But also what's called the deep state, the big bureaucracy that exists in American government, which is fundamentally antithetical to who we are supposed to be. We're supposed to be small government, self-governing. The idea that he has dared to confront them has enraged them, and in their rage, they've taunted him more, and he won't take it lying down. And so we're living in strange times, but it strikes me as a sign of great health that we have a leader finally willing to call a spade and say, this is wrong. Help me understand what I'm missing, because this seems to me wrong. Most Americans agree with him. And incidentally, who elected Donald Trump? Here's the simple answer: America. Every 4 years, we have a presidential election. We elected him. So the disregard that some in the elite classes have for him, the contempt that some of them have for him, is a contempt for the American voter. I don't know how else to see it. Every 4 years, we have an election. We're bound to respect who occupies the office. When Obama occupied it, most people, myself included, who disagreed with his policies, sometimes strongly, nonetheless respected the office of president and were compelled to respect him as the holder of that office. That has gone away with Trump. So it's we're living in very strange times indeed, I have to say, no question.
That's a very interesting reflection you just made. We see it in other countries. We see it here among certain elites in Australia. It's profoundly anti-democrat, anti-democracy. You don't support a leader, so you therefore denies legitimacy. You're actually denying the people's choice. You're insulting the people who supported him.